the news of Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage, the quintessential reality TV romance, ultimately ending abruptly and shockingly, has been shaking the love and hip-hop world to its core. The pair has finally to end their relationship after years of ups and downs, according to sources close to them. But what specifically led to this momentous split? After weeks of rumors, we are now discovering the shocking reasons behind their breakup. Was Mendeecees' past a hindrance? After years of being torn between her career and family problems, could Yandy finally reach her breaking point? Or was there something more sinister occurring in the background that nobody was aware of? Are rising as followers attempt to piece together what transpired, with insiders teasing startling disclosures that might alter everything. More secrets and turns are revealed just when you believe you have the whole tale. And the outcome may be even more startling than you could have ever dreamed. After years of shared moments, public displays of affection, and their fans believing they were the perfect reality TV couple, Mendeecees and Yandy, the couple everyone thought was unbreakable, were on the verge of a devastating breakup. The shocking news hit social media like a bombshell, and fans of hip-hop and love couldn't believe their eyes, even though there had been months of whispers of a divorce. Insiders close to the couple ultimately revealed that their marriage had reached an impasse. Fans were incredulous. On the surface, the couple seemed to be doing well, but behind closed doors, emotional distance was beginning to show. And it seemed like the weight of their public lives was becoming too much for them to bear. They had been through a lot together, including Mendeecees' past legal troubles and Yandy's ongoing juggling of being a wife, mother, and professional woman. When Yandy sent an enigmatic message on social media about a family that wasn't your typical one, it was the first indication of problems. Sometimes you have to walk away to save yourself, or similar phrases were commonplace for fans. But this time, the message was different. It appeared harmless at first, but followers quickly began to question whether she was referring to Mendeecees or whether he was experiencing issues in paradise. The speculation only intensified over the days. Fans were left wondering whether Mendeecees was too hurt to speak out, or if he simply stopped caring when he remained silent and didn't post anything on social media. Rumors about their marriage soon began to spread. Yandy had been feeling abandoned for a long period, according to some insiders, while Mendeecees was still coping with fans. Observed little shifts in Mendeecees and Yandy's interactions during their appearance together on Love and Hip Hop. Mendeecees seemed tense, Yandy seemed more aloof, and their chemistry felt forced. As awkward silences took the place of their once joking banter, fans couldn't help but worry whether this was the beginning of the end. Unresolved problems from his background started to suggest that the couple had been having problems for months, with their conflicts growing more frequent and their love waning. They might be able to escape the increasing conflict in their relationship by spending more time away from home. However, Yandy had been focusing a lot on her career, which left little time for the closeness their marriage once had, and Mendeecees was more aloof than ever. Was this the inevitable result of years of unsolved concerns? Or was it a natural evolution for a couple who had experienced so much? She was sick of being the perfect wife, mother, and businesswoman, and what had started out as a minor quarrel a few months ago had now escalated into something far more serious. However, after years of being in the spotlight, Mendeecees was balancing his jobs as a reality TV star, a parent, and a spouse, while also coping with the impact from his previous legal concerns. After confiding in close friends about feeling stuck in a life he didn't think he could leave, he was beginning to crumble under the strain. She had always struck me as strong, but now I couldn't help but notice her vulnerability. It appeared that the years of attempting to maintain everything were now catching up with them. It was TV that finally caused them to part ways. Mendeecees and Yandy began openly discussing their shifting priorities in private conversations with their tight circle. The stress of continuously having to demonstrate their love and dedication to the world was wearing Mendeecees down, and they were sick of trying to live up to the public's expectations of what their marriage should look like. Although it became clear that neither of them had the stamina to continue arguing, problems were being caused by more than only their inner conflicts. External factors, particularly the relentless pressure from their relatives. Mendeecees had always been questioned by Yandy's family, especially in light of his prior legal troubles. And they appeared to have been waiting for the proper moment to voice their reservations. As a result of their disdain of Yandy, Menk was constantly from family to behave in their daughter's best interests. Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship deteriorated as their stress increased. What started out as small disagreements became heated. Once their communication broke down. And every encounter felt a few days after Yandy's mysterious message that alluded to the dissolution of their marriage. Mendy finally spoke out. The short yet heartfelt post alluded to the dissolution of their marriage. Love is insufficient. Fans quickly crowded the comments section, demanding further information, but Menk said nothing, keeping them in the dark. Resembled an effort to keep up a facade of contentment that neither of them could continue to maintain. Mendeecees' remoteness from Yandy made her question whether he still loved her, and whether he had ever been able to provide her with the care and attention she needed. The tension and suspense around Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship escalated throughout the course of the days, and it became clear that the pair was going through the most trying time in their life. Fans were buzzing after Mendeecees' surprise post, but it also paved the way for additional insider information and rumors. Everyone wanted to know the truth about what had transpired between the pair. Were they really at the end of the road? The wake of Mendeecees' death, it felt like every fresh detail just deepened the mystery. Yandy's answer was emotional, but Mendeecees' had been vague. Yandy sobbed during a public interview as she discussed the emotional toll her marriage had taken on her. She trembled as she stated, "I gave everything to this relationship, but I somehow lost myself in the process." Fans were shocked by her remarks, and many questioned whether she was finally disclosing the whole scope of her difficulties. She was from Indies who had often been emotionally and physically absent. To balance her profession, be a mother, and maintain her strength, Mendeecees' close associates began to come forward as well, providing insight into his version of events. One source claims that Mendeecees has been in a deep state of turmoil for months. He is not a nasty person. Rather, he is merely attempting to come to terms with his identity following all of his experiences. While some admirers praised her for her fortitude and tenacity, others couldn't help but question whether Mendeecees was actually the antagonist in this tale. Cease found himself attempting to catch up with a world that had changed without him when he got back home. Yandy had evolved into a strong, self-reliant lady who had mastered life without mans at her side. She was no longer only the devoted wife and mother. Yandy may not have fully grasped the toll Ce's past, filled with court cases and time away from his family, had put on him, but Yandy's did. There had always been a delicate balance in the couple's marriage. He quickly discovered that he needed to adjust to a new reality, one in which he wasn't the center of attention after he was released from prison. As the stress peaked, Yandy began to question whether this was a relationship worth preserving, because their once close bond had started to weaken. She felt as though she was losing herself in the process of supporting Mendeecees, something she had dedicated her entire life to. However, Mendeecees began to question whether he was clinging to a marriage that had already broken down, outgrown each other. Could they ever get back to how things used to be? Or was this the inevitable end of a relationship that had been built on a foundation of love and survival? The public's reaction was as divided as the couple's feelings. Some fans filled the comments section of social media with messages of support for Yandy, saying, "You deserve better," while others wrote, "You've been through so much and you're so strong. Don't let him drag you down." Mendeecees was defended by others who said he had been through enough and deserved another chance. He made mistakes, but he's trying again. Mendeecees made a shocking move that left fans wondering if there was still hope for the couple. Could this be their last attempt to mend their marriage, or was it just too little, too late? Insiders revealed that the conversation between Mendeecees and Yandy was emotional, to say the least. One fan wrote, "People forget how hard it is to come back from what he's been through. He's not a villain." But as the drama continued, another unexpected twist emerged just when everyone thought the couple had reached their breaking point. Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship had been tested by forces outside of their personal struggles and their relationship, and they both cried as they expressed the hurt and frustration they had been holding inside for so long. Mendeecees apologized for his actions and acknowledged the ways he had failed Yandy, while Yandy admitted that she had been so focused on building her career and taking care of their children that she had neglected their relationship. Was the first time in a long time that they were able to have an honest conversation without the distractions of their public lives and the pressure of reality TV. But it was unclear whether the emotional breakthrough would be enough to save their marriage. Friends and family began to react in ways that fueled the fire, and close relatives were reportedly divided between supporting Mendeecees and Yandy and supporting them. With each new revelation, the drama escalated and the stakes increased as the emotional conversation between Mendeecees and Yandy continued to echo in the background. Could they truly overcome the damage that had been done? Or was this moment of honesty just another fleeting glimmer of hope before the inevitable end? Fans were left on the edge of their seats, waiting for the next chapter in this heartbreaking saga. Yandy's need for personal growth and Mendeecees' desire for redemption were said to be confusing to the couple's children, who had seen the highs and lows of their parents' relationship. "They'd never seen us like this before," Yandy openly admitted to a friend, "but they always saw us." Their love seemed to be evaporating, and no amount of promises or apologies seemed to be enough to stop the inevitable. Yandy was also struggling, despite putting on a brave front for so long that the cracks were beginning to reveal that she was divided between worth and her love. "I gave up so much of myself for men, but now I wonder if I ever knew who I was without him," Yandy told her sister. "Am I clinging to something that has already passed, or can I ever be happy again?" It was evident that Yandy's inner conflict was about identity rather than Mendeecees. For a long time, she had been the wife, mother, and supporter. But now she was asking herself if she could ever return to a life where she was just Yandy. The situation grew more intense, with friends and family on both sides giving her unsolicited advice, with some of her friends who had always admired her strength and independence advising her to move on from Mendeecees. Mendeecees' family was likewise struggling to understand what had happened. While Yandy was being tugged in many directions by those closest to her, longtime family friend Kirk Frost has always been an outspoken advocate for Mendeecees and Yandy, believing that they would make the ideal couple, given the strength of the couple's relationship. Other friends encouraged Yandy to give Mendeecees another chance, while one close friend reminded her, "You've supported him through everything, and now it's time to put yourself first." Interview. They are about to get divorced, which I never thought would happen, but sometimes things don't go as planned. Kirk's comments were similar to those of many who had formerly looked up to the pair as a symbol of strength and perseverance. But now, it appeared like they were falling apart, and nobody knew how to stop it. Mendeecees and Yandy both seemed to retreat into worlds as the days passed. Even his professional success couldn't cover the gap left in their personal life, so he spent more time away from home, putting his all into his work. The men began focusing on their careers, taking on new initiatives that kept them busy and distracted. He told a close friend that he felt lonely at night, saying, "I feel like I'm living two different lives. One where everything is fine, and the other where I'm drowning in guilt and regret. I don't know how much longer I can keep up." Meanwhile, Yandy threw herself into her charity work and business ventures, going to events and public appearances more frequently while keeping up a picture-perfect front for her fans. But those closest to her knew the truth. She's a queen, but she's broken. One of her friends told the media, "She's strong, but you can see the cracks in her armor. and it's only a matter of time until she has to face what's really going on inside. Revealed startling new facts. A close friend of Yandy's claims that in the weeks before the public outcry, she and Mendeecees had contentious disagreements. Mendeecees ignored Yandy's repeated warnings that she couldn't carry on in this manner. He didn't appear to take her seriously until it was too late, according to the acquaintance. One of the primary reasons their marriage was failing was the breakdown in communication. Yandy's inability to understand his emotional needs, along with his own personal issues, had caused a chasm that no one had expected. The insider who claimed to have overheard a private chat between Yandy and Mendeecees, however, made the most startling revelation of all. As they took in the most recent information, fans were left in shock. "I don't know if I can love you the way I used to. I feel like we've lost each other." Mindy reportedly left the conversation in silence, aware that the end was imminent, but the question still stood. Could they ever mend what had been broken, or was their love really over? The source claims that Yandy had said this to Mendeecees. Was there still hope for Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage, or was this the end of their romance? For now, the drama was far from ended, but only time would tell. The tension between Mendeecees and Yandy escalated throughout the narrative, and their friends and family were forced to acknowledge how serious the situation was. Their circles were filled with rumors of betrayal, unspoken grudges, and unfulfilled vows, and the couple's once strong bond appeared to have irreparably broken. Even if the chances of a reconciliation decreased daily, some people continued to believe that love would win out. A source close to Yandy revealed that she had sought marriage counseling as a last resort, which caused the situation to drastically change. Preserve her relationship with Mendeecees, the insider revealed. But she was aware that she couldn't live this way much longer, and that things needed to change. For the first time in years, Yandy, who had always been renowned for her strength and independence, was admitting that she needed assistance. She was doubting her marriage, her place in the family, and even her level of happiness. Her therapist heard her say, "I love Mendeecees, but I don't know if I can love him the way he wants." "Me too," during one of their sessions. However, insiders claim that Mendy was not as open to the notion of counseling because he was unable to confront the truth of his deteriorating marriage. This time, there was no simple solution. The harm had already been done, and it was up to them both to determine whether or not they were prepared to put in the effort to mend their damaged relationship. Mendeecees had always been a man of action, preferring to solve problems with his hands rather than his heart. With headlines yelling about the alleged adultery, the covert arguments, and the emotional breakdowns that were ripping the marriage apart, the media frenzy surrounding their possible divorce reached a fever pitch as the pair's private lives became more well-known. Fans are shocked at the shocking secrets revealed about their relationship. It seemed like everyone had an opinion on the couple's situation, from fans to celebrities to even strangers on social media. "They've always been our #relationship. Goals," a headline in a tabloid said. "Divorce drama is more intense than any reality TV storyline," a fan commented on Twitter. The public's reaction was divided, but those closest to the couple, especially Yandy's sister, who had largely remained silent, had differing views on what was truly happening behind the scenes. "I've witnessed their treatment of one another, and it seems as though they no longer even recognize one another. I don't think there's anything left to save, which is awful." Kirk Frost, Mendeecees' longtime confidant and mentor, was said to be worried about the toll was having on his friend, while Mendeecees' family was also grappling with the news of the impending divorce. "I've never seen Mendeecees like this," Kirk confessed to a close friend. "He's always been the strong one, but now I can see the pain in his eyes. It's like he's lost the one thing." Even Kirk, who had always been a big believer in Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship, said that there wasn't much hope for the couple anymore, but that was what he valued most. As the divorce process progressed, Kirk said grimly, "It became clear that Mans and Yandy had many unsolved difficulties. such as fights over their children, financial issues, and residual sentiments of betrayal that seemed to eclipse any prospect of reconciliation. According to reports, Yandy was keen to keep a sizable stake in their joint undertakings and commercial endeavors, while Mendeecees was determined to retain full custody of their children. But now they are battling over what was once a wonderful life, according to an insider. It's like watching a ship fall, and nobody wants to throw out the lifeline in the middle of all the mayhem. Yandy and Mendeecees maintained their public identities, each trying to convey a sense of power, despite the breakdown of their personal lives. Although Yandy smiled for the cameras while attending high-profile events and carrying on with her charitable work, those who knew her well could see that the stress of her marriage was wearing her down. She had always been the pillar of support for her family, but now she was struggling to keep everything together. Moving away from the limelight, he focused on his work, utilizing it as an escape from the suffering he was going through. But even when he was at his most successful, there was a clear grief in the back of his eyes, according to one of his close friends. He's lost something, maybe even himself, and I don't know if he'll ever be able to find it again. As the days passed, the rumors of their divorce continued to shift. Some fans believed that Mendeecees and Yandy were feigning conflict for publicity, while others were positive that their marriage was truly over. But now, it seems as though they are living together as complete strangers. The public was left wondering if they would ever be able to reconcile, or if this was the end of their romance. As the divorce loomed larger and greater, fans continued to watch with bated breath, waiting for the next surprising development in the narrative of one of the most well-known couples on reality TV. But for the time being, the drama between Mendeecees and Yandy was far from done. The tension appeared to reach a breaking point as the divorce drama came to a close, and Mendeecees and Yandy were both having a hard time accepting their circumstances. When additional facts came to light, the drama surrounding their split took an unexpected turn due to their deteriorating marriage. The media began to spread rumors about past secrets, betrayals, and even potential infidelity. The already roaring fire was merely fueled by these latest discoveries, which were much more stunning than what followers had already seen. It all started when Yandy's close friend, who had previously avoided the spotlight, made some startling allegations. This source claimed that Yandy had discovered some shockingly secret information about Mendeecees. It was as though a whole new side of the character had emerged. After learning that Mendeecees had concealed a lot of secrets from her, fans were left wondering what these startling revelations might possibly be. While some believed it might have been something far darker, others believed it might have something to do with Mendeecees' past relationships. In any event, things were becoming more convoluted and ugly. With Yandy, once renowned for her grace and poise, now publicly battling feelings she had suppressed for years. Mendeecees was reportedly struggling to keep a family together while also reeling from the fallout, according to the insider. But the weight of everything is just too much. He had always taken pleasure in his reputation, so the notion of his private life being made public was more than he could bear. He never thought it would get to this point. He truly loved Yandy, but now he's questioning everything Mendeecees. He found it difficult to remain composed as his marriage was being torn apart by the media, with each new storyline getting more detailed than the one before. The idea that there might be some truth to the reports that men had had affairs was one of the most shocking statements to emerge from the controversy. The source claims that Mendeecees had an affair with Yandy when they were married, and Yandy was unaware of it until years later. Both of their fan bases were shocked by this discovery, and many began to question whether the couple's marriage had been doomed from the start. Yandy was obviously distraught by the revelation, because she had always trusted Mendeecees and felt ashamed and betrayed by the notion that he had been hiding such a severe betrayal from her. She apparently shared her distress in a private chat with friends. Mendeecees' version of events was equally devastating. According to one of his closest confidants, he didn't intend for things to turn out this way. He harmed Yandy, but the stress of everything overcame him. He made mistakes, but he was trying to be a better man. He is currently left to pick up the fragments of his broken existence. Mendeecees, who had previously been candid about his difficulties, was now having to deal with the fallout from his behavior. His quest for atonement had served as the foundation of his public identity. But now that image was harmed, and the couple's claimed emotional fight at home was the final straw. Sources close to the pair claim that Yandy confronted Mendeecees about the affair, sobbing and begging him to tell her the truth while demanding answers. According to one of Yandy's friends, it was one of the most intense experiences she had ever had. She was desperate to know everything and was fed up with the lies. Despite her grief, Mendeecees later confessed to the affair, and when the story leaked, it was clear that their marriage could no longer be saved. One fan wrote on Twitter, "This isn't the Mendeecees and Yandy we saw on TV." He added, "They were supposed to be our goals. Now they're just like every other celebrity couple falling apart." The news also affected the couple's families, with one relative stating that Mendeecees' mother, who had always been a strong influence in his life, was devastated by the revelations and couldn't believe what was happening. Another relative claimed that although she had always their marriage, she was now doubting everything. The news shocked Yandy's family as well. According to reports, her mother and sister advised her to put her health first and move on. Asserted that she is too resilient to be undermined by someone who doesn't respect her. Fans of the couple were split on whether to back Mendeecees and Yandy as the drama continued. "We just want them to be happy," one fan wrote, while another said, "But it's clear that they've both been through a lot. Maybe it's for the best." Other fans expressed disappointment and anger, with some feeling betrayed by Mendeecees' actions. "He hurt Yandy, and that's unforgivable." With the divorce now confirmed and the emotional toll going on for both Mendeecees and Yandy, "I can't support someone who does that to their wife." The future was unknown. Was this the end of their adventure together? Or would they ever find a way to return to one another? Time would tell. But the fans were left wondering how much longer they could put up with this pair before they finally lost it. Even though the media continued to chronicle their marital drama. Whoa! The drama between Mendeecees and Yandy has been a roller coaster of emotions. Truly astounded everyone. But we're curious if you think their marriage was ruined, or if there's a chance for reconciliation. How do you feel about the concerning discoveries that have come to light? Kindly provide your thoughts in the space provided. For comments below, receive more updates on this fascinating tale. Please remember to like and subscribe to the video below. Make sure to press the notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest news and can stay informed about all the drama that is happening. For watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon with even more incredible news.